Today's video, we're going to have a look at where we're going out through into May. In today's video, just have a look at the temperatures from the CFS model, see what they're predicting as we go through May in weekly stages, see whether we're going to get any particularly warm weather coming up. It's been a very cold start to the year. We'll see how cold it has been to start the year in just a moment. Now, if we go on with the video, I just want to talk about the advertising mode. Usually be a video ad sitting above my weather videos at Gary'sWeatherVids.com, and if you can please play that video ad, you'll be supporting Gary'sWeatherVids.com by doing that. The other thing I want to mention is the historic videos I'm doing next week. I'm going to do a couple of historic videos over the weekend and put them up on the website next week while I'm recuperating from my minor operation. And I'm getting your suggestions for those years, so if you can go to the comment box and put into the comment box the years you would like me to do for the historic videos next week, I'll draw two out at random and then get them done over the weekend. In fact, it's very much doing that. At the moment, 2010 seems to be well and truly in the lead, with most people wanting to see a recap on the severely cold weather we had in November and December 2010. But I'm going to put all of the entries into a bag and draw two out at random. And of course, if you want to see 2010, put it in the comment box, because the more times it's there in the bag, the more chance it's got of being pulled out, of course. So we're just going to start off with radar picture. This is the radar picture for today. Bring down a lot of showers across the country. Have a cold front coming down across England and Wales last night. Gave a proper soaking in some southern and southeastern parts. The first one for quite some time. It's clearing away from the southeast now, though. As they've got these heavy showers coming down from the north. These are wintry showers, rain, hail, sleet, snow, thunder, lightning, everything thrown in but the kitchen sink. And particularly across Scotland, have got some quite significant snow over the high ground up there. It may be at the end of April, but still cold enough for some snow. We're going to have some frost coming up over the next few nights. These are the GFS temperature forecast. GFS has been consistently forecasting really quite cold nights over this weekend, and this is the forecast for 6 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. Temperatures widely down to freezing here, -1, -2, -3. It'll be particularly in rural areas, not so much in the towns and cities, particularly in cities, city centres, town centres. I think we're going to struggle to get much frost personally, but GFS is definitely going for it out in the countryside and out in the outskirts of towns and cities. There's likely to be some frost. And then look at these temperatures still being forecast at 6 o'clock in the morning on Sunday morning, taking us down to -3, -4, -5 here across some parts of the South Midlands, South West Wales. It's hard to believe it's going to get that cold, but in the countryside, in rural areas, maybe it will. GFS is certainly very consistent with that. Now, this is the Central England temperature forecast for this year so far. We've got January, February, March, and the provisional forecast as up to the 24th of April, which was yesterday. Of course, that wasn't it. It was the day before yesterday. It's 26th today, isn't it? So yesterday was the 25th. We've not actually got the provisional figures taken into account yesterday, and yesterday was quite warm, so this will tick up a little bit when it updates, probably up to 7.4, maybe an outside 7.5, but certainly no higher than that. The anomaly is 0.3 below average, and when it ticks up a little bit later on, that'll be as high as we get. If anything, it'll start to dip back a little bit, I think, through the course of the rest of the month. What's left of the month, we'll see that Central England temperature ticking down. Probably going to end up somewhere around 7.1 or 7.2, and that will be below average for April. It's going to be a colder or a cooler than average month, and that just goes along with all the other months this year. January came in at 3.5, which was 0.3 below average. February 3.2, which was 0.6 below average, and of course that exceptionally cold March at 2.7, the coldest since Victorian times in Central England, with an anomaly of 3 degrees, 3 Celsius below average. So it has been a very, very cold start to the year. All 4 months of the first 4 months of the year are going to come in below average. Now, what about as we go through to May? Well, you will think that after 4 months coming in below average, it's likely that we've got to get an above average month before much longer. So what about May? Well, these are the GFS temperature ensembles. This is for the upper atmosphere, but it's useful for down at the surface. And we see that, well, we're going to be below average for the rest of April now. We've ticked down below the red line, the red line is the average for the time of year, remember. We're going to be well under that red line for the rest of the month. This is May the 1st, just here. So we're going to be colder than average for the rest of the month. As we go into May, well, we stay below average for the first few days, and then we start to get a lot of scatter in the ensemble here. But this is going out into the unreliable time frame, anywhere around the 5th of May. We can't take it too seriously, but there's a lot of scatter there. Some of the members are going quite warm, some of the members are staying quite cold, but there's nothing really in that ensemble there that suggests we're going to go particularly warm for the first week to 10 days of May. To be honest, I wouldn't want to be betting too much on going above average, given how much scatter there is. Have a look at the temperature anomaly for the next week, Friday the 26th to Friday the 3rd. Well, we're going to be below average. It's going to be colder than average here for British Isles and for much of Europe as well. The warmth is down in the southeast, across southeastern parts of Europe, but for much of northern, western, central Europe, those temperature anomalies are going to be below average for the next week. So as we go beyond that, let's have a look at the CFS, which is the long-range model from the United States. Let's just have a look at the temperature, mean maximum temperatures, broken down into weekly periods throughout May. Now, this website I'm using is weatherweb.net. You can find weatherweb.net on my links page, so you can check these CFS charts out for yourself. This is the first mean maximum temperature for the second week of the period. We're not going to look at the first week of the period because that encompasses April. This is taking us for around the 2nd to the 9th of May. So really the first week of May is being predicted here on this temperature forecast. And this is mean maximums mean maximum temperatures. Remember, it's not mean minimums, it's mean maximum, so it's daytime temperatures. And it's pretty cool, really. Temperatures for Scotland being predicted at around 7 or 8 degrees. For England and Wales, around 10 to 12 degrees, but that's nothing to write home about. It's more like what you would expect in early April. Certainly, it's cooler than average. Going through to the next weekly period, which takes us from around the 9th to the 16th of May, so this is taking us towards the middle of the month. And again, very disappointing temperatures here have maybe ticked up a little bit for Scotland, up to 9 degrees, 9 or 10 degrees, but for England and Wales, no real difference. We're around 10, 11, 12 degrees, nothing at all to write home about, cooler than it should be. The next weekly period takes us through to the 23rd of May, so we're going well into the second half of the month, and have temperatures ticked up? They haven't. If anything, they've dropped again for Scotland. We're down to 7 or 8 degrees. For England and Wales, we're stuck, firmly stalled at 10, 11, 12 degrees. No suggestion at all there that the temperatures will be lifting up through the course of that third week of May, and going out to the final week of May, which takes us to the 30th of May, right to the end of the month. You would be expecting temperatures to really start to lift up now. Well, still very disappointing. We have ticked up a little bit, but just to 13 or 14 degrees as a mean maximum temperature for England and Wales, and for Scotland we're still actually around 9, 10, 11 degrees. So temperatures do tick up a little bit in that final week of the month after stalling for much of the month, but nothing really to write home about. 14, 15 degrees at the for the final week of May is very, very modest sort of temperatures, nothing to get excited about, and below where they should be at the end of May. For precipitation for the first week of May, this is again taking us from the 2nd to the 9th of May, so this does encompass the first week of May. We're looking at quite a wet first week here in the north and west. Not as wet to the east, but there will be some precipitation around. Where those blue colours are in the north and west, actually that's quite wet. Going through to the second week of the month, which takes us to the 16th of May, well, quite unsettled here, quite a bit of rain across many central areas, maybe dry in the southeast, but that is quite an unsettled looking anomaly. For the third week of May, well, we've got precipitation, not particularly heavy, but there is precipitation coming through. Notice the heights for drier weather is all out in the Atlantic, so the suggestion, the reason it's as cool as it is, I think, is that the suggestion is that we bring down north or northwesterly winds with the jet stream going somewhere here, running from Greenland, to the south of Iceland across the British Isles, but probably under the jet stream, and then going into Central Europe, and the high pressure is out in the Atlantic. And nothing really changes as we go through to the final week. The heights perhaps move a little bit further south, set up more towards the Azores, so that's perhaps more of a typical pattern. But generally it still is largely quite unsettled, and the jet stream is still running through the British Isles, really, more aligned southwest to northeast, so rather than northwest to southeast, and that's the reason the temperatures do pick up just a little bit as we go out to that final week of the month. But still, although the temperatures pick up in that final week of the month, they still really aren't anything to write home about. As we go out into June, the CFS model still isn't really seeing much in way of warm weather. This has been mean maximum temperatures for the week, taking us to the 20th of June. So this is taking us through the third week of June, the middle of June. You would expect by then temperatures to be around 20 degrees, 68 Fahrenheit, but nothing really. We're still below where we should be. 17, 16 degrees in Scotland, 16, 17 degrees for England and Wales. Certainly we aren't seeing any signs there of any particularly warm weather coming up in June. So it appears that this cold start to the year is going to go on, if you believe the CFS model. Remember, these seasonal models are highly experimental, and this isn't my official forecast for May. I'll be doing that probably later next week. But if you believe these temperatures, then the cold start that we've had to 2013 looks like it's just going to go on and on, certainly into May, quite possibly into June as well, with the anomalies still, whilst ticking up, of course, because we're going through the year and the sun's stronger, so the temperatures are ticking up. But as an anomaly, it looks as though those temperatures are going to be remaining really below average for May, probably for June as well, and that would mean all 6 months of the year, the first 6 months of the year, coming in below average, which is a very, very, very unusual occurrence. Now, whether this is right, we're going to have to wait and see. As I say, the models, seasonal models, are experimental. We can't put too much faith in them. But it's certainly interesting to see that the CFS really isn't seeing anything particularly warm or above average coming up over the next few days. That's it for now. I'll be doing the week ahead forecast tomorrow. And remember, put your years in the comment box that you would like me to do historical videos for. And that's it for now. Thanks for watching.